Hi everybody and welcome to inspiredstartups.com. Today we're going to be talking to Ali Zahid, one of the co-founders of vanhawks.com. And he's going to be talking about his really exciting smart bike, Valor. This is the bike here. And this product is really going to disrupt the bicycle market as it is now. So we're really excited to talk to him. Okay. So Ali, thanks so much for joining us on inspiredstartups.com. We're really excited to talk to you guys today.
I am stoked to be here too. Thank you for having me today.
And congratulations on the development of a really exciting product. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much. It took a long time, but we've got something going.
Yeah. I don't know if you know that one of our co-founders, Rado, is a huge cycling enthusiast. So he's been really excited about this interview.
That's awesome. Yeah, he was telling me about it.
Yeah, so I was really wondering, were you guys big in cycling enthusiasts too, or how did the idea come about? How did you guys come up with it?
Yeah, so I wouldn't call ourselves crazy cyclists or anything. We were all commuters, so we used to ride our bike every day to get to places. And we saw the pain points of potentially getting hit by a car from the behind, or always having the phone in front of your face while trying to navigate you to some place. And all those things factored into something that we want to create for ourselves. And that's why where we came out with this idea. It started off from my brother while he was studying medicine, and his best friend, and they came up with a different way of folding carbon fiber. And from there on, they got me to come join their team, and I brought in my best friend as a CTO, and we started to develop a company that all of us wanted.
Brilliant. And tell me then about the name, vanhawks.com, and the bike is called Valor, which is a brilliant name, I think. How did you guys come up with that name?
So Vanhawks means, I believe it's of in Dutch, so it's like the creation of hawk, pretty much, and hawk being the top of the animal, one of the first one, and being the closest to human being from the very, very starting. So it's all about, having a value, the same values as a hawk would, and valor being, a courage in a battlefield, and strong, and all those things combined into one, and that's how we feel as a commuter on the road. And this is something for you to defend yourself while you go out there on your commute every single day.
So a lot of energy then in all those meanings, and a lot of energy you guys obviously had to get this idea off the ground. So this is your shot.
Yes.
Give us your pitch in 100, 150 words to our startup community. What is this that you've created, and why is it so special?
This is the very first world-connected carbon fiber bicycle. So it's connected to your cell phone. It gives you feedback, and it keeps you safe on the road while also being a very sexy bike to get you from point A to point B with a very meshed network that will always give the best route suggestions wherever you are in the world.
It's amazing, an amazing use of the technology and the carbon fiber, like you're explaining to us a little bit already. Yeah, and it looks really, really impressive as well. But tell me, tell me a little bit about though how that eureka moment when you guys came up with the idea for the bike, and then from that point to product development. Talk us through that.
I think the eureka moment was like when we realized that it's not about the idea that's like, oh my God, I got the best idea in the world. It's all about bringing the right people on the table to build any idea that you ever had. So for me and my brother, it was always finding the right co-founders that we know we could work with, and they could conquer any problem that you put in front of them. And that was something very, very important to us. And, bringing the right team and getting the right people in the house is the most important thing. So in our minds, the way we think is always people. If the people are happy, you'll get a good product. And if you have a very good product, you'll get the good profits. So anything you'll ever do in your life is always with the people. And if you have the right people, you'll come up with the right idea. So that was one part of the answer to your question. What was the other question that you asked me?
Well, I was just wondering, say for, the people watching in, and maybe if they have that idea themselves and they're thinking, I have this good idea for a product, how do I actually bring it to fruition? Like, from your experience, what do you think would be the most important things for people going on, starting out in that journey?
I think it's always finding the right people to surround yourself. And, it's always a mission for myself to not be the smartest person in the room. We are hiring people right now, and anytime I meet someone who scares the shit out of me and someone who can actually replace me easily if I ever leave this company, I want to hire them right away. Because those are the people that I want to bring on the team, and that's how you create the right environment around you. And, that's very, very important to the company. So whoever's ever starting out, I think, stop trying to be an imitator and try to be someone original, and bring the right people around on the table. And, whatever you do, good things will happen that way.
Okay. And did you guys have any challenges in terms of, co-working with other companies to get the product made?
Those are challenges any startup would ever face, going through a product building, getting the right supply chain, getting the right people in the door, finding the money to finance the company. Those are the problems that, there's so much resources out there in the world that if you really want to go out there, Google's your best friend. That's the way I see it. So yeah, I think more focus should be in finding the right people to build the right product that people can actually utilize for things.
And obviously people, are so important for your team, but they've obviously been so important in you starting the product and getting the funding, because you guys went down the crowdfunding route with Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a really good experience of that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so, for everything, as I said, people are the base of it. So when we were starting and thinking about doing a crowdfunding, I did more than 1,000 customer interviews one-on-one. I sat down with 1,000 people I thought would buy my bike. And, that's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. But what that made me realize was like, hey, there's a product market fit for the company that we're building. That it's not just an idea that all of us came with. There's actually some potential in it. People actually want something that we're building. In the 1,000 interviews, we killed a lot of the features. We came up with new features. That's how we validated that, hey, if we actually put this on crowdfunding, people will actually be very interested, because out of the 1,000 people, 100 people are interested. So we had a 10% conversion rate, and, that's pretty good for a company. So that was really exciting, and that's how we realized that was the right path for us to go down, because a lot of the times startups start being very siloed because they keep building a product, and then they realize no one actually wants this product.
So did that help you guys with getting the product kind of to the end customer with your sales research, market research, and finding that route for you guys?
Yeah, that definitely helped, right? Like, if you get the right people and talk to the right people and talk to the right customers, you get to learn a lot about your own company and, what kind of people would actually buy your product and why would they care about it. And then, you go to the core functionality and not the fluff, and the fluff kind of dies away on the top.
So did you guys have to make any changes to the product as a result of that?
Oh, yeah, there's so many changes, in the development cycle. I've probably killed 50 features and brought on 50 new features. And, it was a massive sift of, features coming in and out because everyone has a different opinion. You just got to design an interview process that will help you determine what are the right features you want to bring in.
Mm-hmm. And was that difficult when you have, a lot of passion for a product and you've maybe had an idea in your head about how you want it to be? Is it difficult, did you find, to pull back from some of that and change some of that?
I think the first decision as a company that we made was we are never going to be attached to any product that we create. We're going to be attached to the reasons why we make any of these products. And, I'm not attached to Valor. I'm more attached to VanHox and what VanHox will do overall. Because Valor is just one of the subsidy of VanHox. It's a challenge to start because you're a maker, but it's something that you have to come to the conclusion that, hey, what I'm creating might not be perfect and there needs to be changes in it.
Okay. So that's a good tip for people, I think, then, not to be so attached to the product, to be able to take a step back. Would you say that's been your experience?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk about pricing, because obviously that's a big that's a big issue for people who are getting a new product to market. How did you guys go about deciding on the right pricing level for Valor?
Yeah, so the reason why we picked the price point that we did was, we looked at the market and how people actually price bicycles, and what we realized was like with the technology that we have, we can undercut everything. We have lean manufacturing. The way the process works is super easy, and it's way better than any other manufacturing process out there. And in order for us to actually get people who never ride a bike to actually start riding a bike, it needs to be on a competitive price point. So the way we priced it was determined by the market. It was determined by users. It was determined by how much it's going to cost. So pricing a product is always hard, and there's a lot of math and like market research, whatever you want to call it. But there's also an art to it that things that you can't just justify because of numbers or anything. It's something you just need to have the instinct and a gut knowledge about. And being right in the middle is always hard. And we might have hit the right price point, or we might have not. We will never know. But right now, we think we have. It will adjust in the future depending on how the market is going and whatnot. So.
So pricing of the product is one thing, but what do you think in terms of the time that you gave to your research, thinking about the product, it's how it was made, the pricing? What do you think gave you the most value in the end of putting time into any one of those areas?
Like every startup is strapped for time, and you're the best determinant of what you need to do. We had a lot of mentors and help around us. A lot of the time, sometimes we realized it was a distraction because it was taking away from actually building. So, as Paul Graham says, build and only focus on one metric and grow that metric as much as you can. And for our metric was actually finishing the bike, and then knowing and making sure that, hey, is this actually gonna work, and is this the right area and the right price, and a lot of different aspects went into it. And when we were part of an incubator down in Montreal called Founder Fuel, for 3 months, all we did was, work on that.
So giving time in those very early stages is good advice for people then, you think?
Yeah, it's, allocating the right resources and the right time and bringing the right people around you is very, very key. And if you have the right people around you to help you, you will go far. Because they will guide you. They're like, hey, I think it's not the right time for you to go to the market. It's time for you to keep building and asking your users what I'm building is actually useful and making test cases for it. So hopefully those answer your question. If I don't answer your question, just let me know.
Yeah, no, you are. It's good. Yeah, really good. So you've had a really positive start. So tell us what you think the future is going to be then. Next 12 months for vanhooks.com. How do you see it going?
Oh, if I just knew that, I would be in the best place in the world, right? One thing I've learned out of doing all these things is whatever you plan, 98% of the time it's never going to work, and it'll just go with the flow. And you just have to be good enough to figure things out on right when things actually don't work and make the best situation out of it. So we're in next 12 from Vanhooks would be in my mind is we've grown the team, we're out on the market, we're killing it, we're selling like crazy. We're targeting just one market, like London, UK, or San Francisco, or Toronto, or Montreal, whatever that city is. We're just selling in that one city to make our mesh network bigger and create a massive community around and make this cult for Vanhooks that people just love it so much because it just works. And
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but when we were doing the research for this interview, in Dublin, there's a bike scheme in place which has 42,000 people signed up to it. And I was comparing it to in Toronto, I think there's only 1,000 people signed up to the bike scheme in Toronto. So maybe you guys should really target Dublin.
Yeah, it's we've got this thing going that we're thinking about which city would work perfectly. There's different criteria in terms of where we want to go and why we want to go there. So we're still deciding. Dublin is in the race, Copenhagen is in the race, Berlin's in the race. There's a lot of cities But we just need to make sure where we're going is the right area for this company to go into.
Absolutely. So from, I suppose, your entrepreneurial journey and experience so far, what do you wish somebody had have told you when you were starting off that you could pass on to some of our viewers now?
I think one of the biggest things, I'm super young. I just turned 21 like a month ago, so I was 20 when I did all of this, and I didn't have a lot of experience. I dropped out of school for this. So one of the best things I've learned now is like stop trying to imitate people and be original at what you do. Certain things that work certain ways for most of certain people's life. That might not be the perfect way. It's a good way to do it. Try something new. Be original, and it works. It works. If it doesn't, you learn something new through it. So my advice,
that risk, you're saying.
Yeah, just don't hesitate. Don't try to pull yourself back just because like other people tell you it's not gonna work. This amount of no's I've gotten compared to yes is quite ridiculous, right? So it's just putting your head down and being like, hey, I might have something. And it's not giving up. And giving up at the right moment is also important. So finding the right balance and having the right confidence and having the right people. It all comes, like for me, I'm a very personal person. And it always comes back to the right people. And the people are my most important thing in my life. So.
And one of the things I was wondering about, but given you're so young, I don't know if you'll be able to help us with this question, but I was listening to an entrepreneur's story. His name is John Maguire. He's a guy from Galway, and he has invented some technology for sport, and his first product is called Game Golf. But he was talking about like the huge personal sacrifices that he had to make to get that product up and running. So one of them was he had to leave his family for a year to go and get funded for this project. What do you think are some of the personal sacrifices that entrepreneurs have to make in order to get that idea, up and going?
It's a double-edged sword. Like I gave up my university degree. I was on a good track to actually going to become a doctor. I gave up a lot of my close friends that I can't keep in contact with because I just don't have the time. And I still try my best because it comes back to having the right people around you. So personal sacrifice. I'm pretty young. I'm pretty lucky that I'm super privileged to be in this position I am, and I realize that, and I'm very thankful for it. Because this is a time where I can take big risks, and I don't have to worry about like my kids, my mortgage, or any of that stuff. So personally, I don't think I've taken any. I haven't given up anything.
Okay. So really, it sounds like the most important thing for you guys through Van Hawks and getting this product to market has been your team and the people and the advice that you've gotten from mentors and things like that.
Exactly, and that's always. It's one of the crucial parts. If you're good at something, and you can build it, that's one part of it. But having the right people to build it too is also another part. Having the right financing. There's a lot of small pieces that go into play to make a company actually work and grow. And sometimes you might not hit it, sometimes you'll hit it, and sometimes you'll hit it and it'll sink right after. So it's a crazy journey. I love it. I could not ask for anything better, so I'm very thankful about it.
Okay, brilliant. And tell us, where can our startup community find you guys online?
Vanhawks.com, VANHWKS.com. My Twitter is Ali Zahid. Hit me up anytime. I'm always open to helping anyone out there in the world that needs or requires any advice. So.
Brilliant. Ali, thanks so much. Great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm just going to check.